They say a man's worth is measured by what he builds, his land, his legacy, the empire he carves from wilderness and will. But I learned different. I learned it the night I stood in ashes, watching 20 years burn, because I chose truth over gold. I learned it in a courthouse where lies wore badges and justice had a price. I learned it from a woman they called unwanted, difficult, impossible, the same woman who rode 3 days through mountain cold, not because she had to, but because no one ever gave her a choice before. They thought they were dumping their problem onto a desperate fool, a mountain man, 58 years old, alone, unremarkable. What they didn't know, what she didn't know, was that I'd been watching, waiting 3 years, for the one person strong enough to stand when everyone else kneeled. This is not a love story. This is a reckoning. I am Marcus Thorne, 58 years old, owner of Thorn Ridge Ranch, and today I'm doing the most reckless thing I've done in 20 years. I'm proposing to a woman I've never met, not because I'm lonely, though God knows these mountains get quiet. Not because I'm old, though my knees remind me every morning that 58 is not 30, but because 3 years ago, 3 years, 2 months, and 16 days ago, I saw something, someone. The letter sits on my desk, thick paper, expensive. The kind men like Sutton Morrison used to make themselves feel important, the wax seal already broken, red wax, like blood, which is fitting, because what I'm about to do will draw blood, just not mine. Outside my window the sun breaks over the eastern ridge, October light, cold and clean, the kind of morning that makes you believe in second chances, or last chances, depending on how you look at it. I pick up the letter. Read it again for the 5th time, Mr. Thorne. Your inquiry regarding a marriage arrangement has been received with interest. My daughter Wren is of appropriate age and disposition. We can discuss terms at your earliest convenience. Sutton Morrison, appropriate disposition. I almost laugh. If Sutton Morrison knew what I knew about his daughter, if he had any idea why I'm doing this, he'd burn this letter and probably try to burn me with it. But he doesn't know, because men like Sutton never pay attention to what matters. They're too busy counting money that's slipping through their fingers, too busy maintaining reputations that are already dust. I set the letter down, pick up my pen. The response I write is brief, Mr. Morrison. I accept your terms with one modification. I will pay no bride price before the wedding, only after, if she agrees. Marcus Thorne, I don't tell him the rest, that I'll never pay him. Not 1 cent. Because this isn't a purchase, this is a liberation. And Sutton Morrison doesn't need to know that until it's too late. I seal the letter, walk it out to Bridger, my foreman, and built like the mountains we live in. He takes the letter without comment, looks at me with those steady gray eyes. You sure about this, Marcus? No good. Man who's sure about everything is a fool. He rides out. I watch him disappear down the valley trail, and I think about the day that started all this. 3 years ago, Red Creek Valley in autumn. I came down from the mountain to sell timber, 55 years old then, widowed 10 years, not looking for anything except a fair price and a quick transaction. The town squares was crowded. Market day. Women in their finest dresses, men conducting business with handshakes and lies, the usual theater of civilization. I finished my business with the lumber mill, counted my money, was heading back to my horse when I heard the commotion. A crowd had gathered near the courthouse steps, the kind of crowd that forms when something interesting is about to happen, or someone interesting is about to be destroyed. I should have kept walking, should have minded my business, but because I heard a voice. Female, young, absolutely fearless. You owe Samuel $50. I pushed through the crowd. Saw her, 27 years old. Tall. Dark hair pulled back in a simple braid, wearing a work dress, not the silk and lace the other women wore, and she was standing face to face with Councilman Porter, 60 years old, fat, corrupt. The kind of man who'd steal from widows and call it business, Miss Morrison, Porter said, his voice dripping condescension. Perhaps you should let the men handle financial matters. Perhaps you should pay your debts. The crowd went silent. You could hear the wind, the horses stamping. Nothing else. Porter's face turned red. I don't owe that old man anything. The work wasn't completed to specification. The work was completed perfectly. You're just a thief, someone gasped. You didn't call Councilman Porter a thief. Not in public. Not if you valued your family's standing in the community. But this woman, this Wren Morrison, she didn't back down, didn't even blink. Porter took a step toward her, trying to intimidate. She held her ground. Everyone here knows you owe Samuel, she said, her voice carrying across the square. Everyone knows he spent 2 weeks building your fence. Everyone knows it's standing perfect on your property right now. And everyone knows you're refusing to pay because you think an old man can't fight back. This is slander. This is truth, which I know you're not familiar with. I stood there at the edge of the crowd, watching, and I thought, this is what I've been looking for. Not beauty, though she was beautiful in a way that had nothing to do with paint and powder. Not youth, though she had that too. But courage, real courage. The kind that stands up when everyone else sits down. The kind that speaks when everyone else whispers. The kind that looks at power and says, no, not today, not to him. Porter was sweating now. I'll have you arrested for disturbing the peace. Arrest me then, in front of all these witnesses. Let's see how that plays in the papers. She crossed her arms. Or you could pay Samuel what you owe him, in front of everyone. Right now 30 seconds passed, a minute. The crowd held its breath, and then Porter, red-faced, furious, humiliated, pulled out his wallet. Counted out $50. Slammed the bills into old Samuel's shaking hands. There, are you satisfied? I'm satisfied when people do what's right, Wren said. Not when they're forced into it. Porter stormed away. The crowd dispersed, murmuring, scandalized, delighted, and Wren Morrison walked over to Samuel, helped him count the money, made sure it was all there, touched his shoulder gently, said something that made the old man smile. Then she walked away, head high, not looking for applause or approval, just doing what needed doing. I followed her, not close, just enough to see where she went. She stopped at a small cafe, sat alone, ordered coffee, pulled out a book, and I stood across the street, watching, thinking. I went to the general store, asked about her. Oh, the Morrison girl, the clerk said, rolling his eyes. Difficult one, that. Always causing scenes. Father's at his wits' end. What kind of scenes? Like today. Defending workers. Arguing with the council. Speaking her mind when no one asked for it. The clerk shook his head. Pretty girl, could have married well. But too headstrong, too opinionated. Men don't want that in a wife. Some men don't. I left Red Creek that afternoon, rode back up to Thorn Ridge, and I couldn't stop thinking about her. That night, the next night, a week, a month. I told myself I was being ridiculous. A 55-year-old widower, fixated on a woman 30 years younger, a woman who didn't know I existed. But I couldn't let it go because I knew something. Something I'd learned building this ranch for 20 years, alone. You can build an empire. You can carve civilization from wilderness. You can turn nothing into something, but without someone to share it with, without someone to pass it to. It all means nothing. My wife Constance taught me that. Before the cancer took her, Marcus, she'd said near the end, when she was so thin I could see her bones. Promise me something, anything. Don't spend the rest of your life alone. This place needs more than you. It needs family. I'd promised. But I'd lied because after she died, I couldn't imagine anyone else. Couldn't picture another woman in this house, in our bed, living the life we'd built together. So I worked, just worked, for 10 years, expanding, building, creating, until I had the largest ranch in 3 territories, until I had everything, except someone to leave it to. And then I saw Wren Morrison, and I realized this woman who stood up to power, who protected the weak, who didn't care what society thought. This was who Constance would want. This was who this place needed. So I started investigating, discreetly, through business contacts, through traders who moved between the mountain and the valley. And I learned everything. Wren Morrison, youngest of 3 daughters. Father, Sutton Morrison, once wealthy, now drowning in debt. Mother, Cordelia Morrison, society woman, more concerned with appearances than reality, Sisters Iris and Genevieve, both married to wealthy men, both conforming perfectly to expectations. And then there was Wren, 30 years old now, unmarried. Considered difficult, inappropriate, unmarriable, her family's embarrassment, the daughter they couldn't control, couldn't sell, couldn't fix. Perfect. I spent 3 years learning everything about Sutton Morrison, his debts, his schemes, his desperation, and when the time was right, when he was desperate enough, I sent my inquiry, carefully worded, offering nothing specific, just the suggestion of interest and money, because men like Sutton don't care about their daughter's happiness. They care about solving problems, and Wren was his biggest problem. 1 week later Bridger returns, riding hard, a dust cloud behind him. He dismounts, hands me a letter, Sutton's seal. I open it. Mr. Thorne, your terms are acceptable. Wren will arrive in 3 days. We will finalize arrangements upon her acceptance. Sutton Morrison, 3 days. I fold the letter. Look at Bridger. Get the guest room ready. The one with the view of the valley, the one Constance used to love, that one. Bridger nods. Doesn't ask questions. That's why I trust him. One more thing I say, sir. When she arrives, treat her with respect. But don't treat her like glass. She's not fragile. How do you know? Because fragile people don't stand up to men like Porter. The next 3 days pass like years. I work, check fence lines, inspect the cattle, meet with Cyrus about new horseshoes, talk to Opal about winter supplies. All the normal things. But my mind is somewhere else, wondering, what if she hates it here? What if she sees through my plan? What if she chooses to leave? What if I'm wrong about her? On the 3rd day I wake before dawn. Can't sleep. Stand at my window. Watching the road. You're being ridiculous, I tell myself. She's 30 years younger. She probably thinks you're a fool. She's going to take one look at this place and run. But I don't move from the window. Mid-morning Bridger finds me. They're here. 3 riders. 2 escorts and her. How does she look? Like she'd rather be anywhere else. Good. At least she's honest about it. I walk out to the main gate, slow, giving myself time to think, to prepare. But you can't prepare for this. For the moment when theory becomes reality, they crest the hill. 3 horses. 2 men in Morrison livery. And her, Wren Morrison, 30 years old, wearing a plain brown dress, work boots, hair in a simple braid, no jewelry, no pretense. She sits her horse like she was born in the saddle. And when she sees me, when our eyes meet for the first time, I see it ice, blue ice, the eyes of someone who's been sold and knows it. She dismounts, smooth, practiced, doesn't wait for help. The Morrison men hand down her bag, one small bag. That's all she brought, Mr. Thorne, she says. Her voice is exactly as I remember. Clear, strong, with an edge that could cut stone, Miss Morrison. Welcome to Thorn Ridge, the place my father sold me to. One of the Morrison men clears his throat. Uncomfortable. I ignore him. The place I invited you to. Sounds prettier than the truth. Would you prefer the truth? I always prefer the truth. I gesture toward the house. Then come inside. We'll talk. She looks at the Morrison men. You can go, Miss Morrison. We're instructed to. I said you can go. I'm not a child. I don't need escorts. They exchange glances. Leave, because even they can tell. This woman isn't someone you give orders to. Wren picks up her bag. Follows me toward the main house. I can feel her looking. At the buildings, the corrals, the mountains rising behind everything. It's bigger than I expected, she says. Good surprise or bad? Haven't decided yet. We enter the house. The main room. Timber beams overhead. Stone fireplace. Books lining one wall. Constance's piano, though, in the corner, covered now. I haven't been able to touch it since she died. Sit, I say, pointing to the table. Are you hungry? Thirsty? I'm angry. That's honest. You said you prefer truth. She sits. Sets her bag down, crosses her arms, and waits. I pour coffee black, strong. Set a cup in front of her. She doesn't touch it. Just looks at me so, she says. How does this work? Do you inspect me first? Make sure I'm worth whatever you're paying my father? I'm not paying your father anything. That surprises her, just for a second. Then the ice returns. He thinks you are. I know what he thinks. And you're lying to him. I'm allowing him to believe what he wants to believe. There's a difference. She picks up the coffee, takes a sip, Sets it down. Why? Why what? You're wealthy, powerful. You could have any woman in 3 territories. Why choose your enemy's difficult daughter? I sit down across from her, look her in the eyes. Because 3 years ago I watched you stand up to Councilman Porter. I watched you defend Samuel when everyone else just watched. And I thought, that's the kind of person I need beside me. You don't know me. I know what matters, which is that you don't bow, that you don't break, that you stand up for what's right, even when it costs you. She studies me, like she's trying to see through to bone. Pretty words, Mr. Thorne. But I'm not some prize to be won because I performed well in a town square 3 years ago. No, you're a woman with her own will, her own choices. Which is why I'm making you an offer. I thought the offer was already made. Marriage. My father's debt's forgiven. That's what your father thinks. Here's what I'm actually offering. I lean forward. 1 month. Stay here for 1 month. No obligations, no expectations. Just see if this life suits you. And at the end of the month, you decide. If you want to stay, we get married. Build this place together. If you want to leave, I give you $2,000 and my best horse. You go anywhere you want. Start over. Silence. Slumps. Long, heavy. She doesn't move. Doesn't blink. You're serious. Completely. Why would you do that? Give me a choice when you've already gone through the trouble of arranging this. I think about Constance. About those last days. About the promise I made. Because my wife didn't have a choice. Her father sold her to my father before I even met her. She spent 20 years here wishing she was somewhere else. I watched her fade, piece by piece. Year by year I pause. I won't do that to someone else. Not even for a woman I've waited 3 years for. Wren sets down her cup, stands, walks to the window, looks out at the valley, the mountains, the vast emptiness of it all. 1 month, she says. Not a question, a confirmation. 1 month, and if I leave, you'll really let me go? No consequences? No sending men after me? You'll be free. Completely, she turns. Looks at me with those ice blue eyes. What do you get out of this? A chance. That's all I'm asking for. More silence. Then, show me around. If I'm going to decide whether to stay in this wilderness, I should at least know what I'm dealing with. I stand. Try not to smile. Fail slightly. Fair enough. The tour takes 2 hours. I show her everything. The barns, the caterpillars' cabins, the storage buildings, the workshops. Lips out. Wren doesn't say much. Just observes. Asks practical questions. How many people live here? 42 year-round. More during roundup season. You feed all of them? Everyone who works gets fair wages and meals. Some have families. We have a schoolhouse for the children. She looks at me. That's unusual, is it? Most ranchers don't care about their workers' children. Most ranchers are fools. Can't build anything lasting if people are desperate. We climb the ridge behind the main compound. From here you can see the entire valley. Thorn Ridge stretching for miles. Cattle grazing, workers moving with purpose. Smoke rising from chimneys. 20 years, I say. When I started, this was nothing. Just land. Wild land. My father had claimed it, but never developed it. After he died, I inherited dust and dreams. So you built all this. Constance and I built it. For the first 10 years, then just me for the last 10. You must miss her every day. Wren doesn't offer sympathy. Doesn't say the meaningless things people say. Just nods, understanding without needing to speak it. That's when I know. I didn't choose wrong. We walk back as the sun sets, the October air turning cold. You'll stay in the guest room, I say. 2nd floor. Overlooks the valley. Door locks from the inside. You think I'm afraid of you? No, but I want you to know you're safe here. What you choose to do with that safety is up to you. She stops. Looks at me directly, Mr. Thorne. Marcus. Please, Marcus. I need you to understand something. All right, I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not. I'm not going to smile when I'm angry. I'm not going to be quiet when something's wrong. I'm not going to be easy to live with. Good, good. I don't need easy. I need real. She almost smiles. Almost. We'll see if you still think that in a week. That first week, I let her find her rhythm. Don't hover. Don't assign tasks. Just let her explore day 1. She appears in the kitchen at dawn. Opal is already there kneading bread. Morning, Opal says. Not surprised. Morning. Can I help? You know how to bake? My mother thought it was beneath me, so I learned anyway. Opal grins, hands her an apron. I watch from the doorway. They work in comfortable silence, the kind that comes when two people understand each other without needing words. Day 2. Wren rides out with Bridger to check the northern fence line. When they return, Bridger finds me. She rides better than half our men. Good to know, and she has smart questions about water rights. Gray's rotation, winter preparation, day 3. Wren finds Cyrus in the smithy. Watches him work. Can I try? She asks. Cyrus looks at her. This old man who's been shoeing horses for 40 years. It's hot work. I'm not afraid of heat. He hands her the hammer, shows her how to hold it, how to let the weight do the work. Her first swing is tentative. Second is better. Third rings true, natural. Cyrus grunts, which from him is high praise. Day 4. I find her in the library, my library, reading one of Constance's books on land management. Sorry, she says, looking up. I should have asked. Read anything you want. That's why they're here. She runs her hand over the cover. Your wife had good taste. She had vision. Saw what this place could be before it existed. You loved her very much. Statement. Not question, I did. Still do. Wren closes the book. Does it bother you? Having me here in her space? I think about this. Really think, no. Because Constance would want this place lived in, not preserved like a museum. She'd want someone who appreciates these books to read them, even if that someone is a replacement. You're not a replacement. You're something different entirely. She looks at me for a long moment, then goes back to reading. Day 5. Everything changes. It's just before dawn. I'm checking the horse barn, making sure everything's ready for the day Anna comes running. 24 years old. Red hair flying. Face pale, Mr. Thorne? It's Adeline Henderson. The baby's coming. It's not time yet. She has another month. I know. That's the problem. I run. Not toward the main house. Toward the small cabin at the edge of the compound. The Hendersons. Young couple. Been here 2 years. Good workers. Their first child. I burst through the door. Adeline Henderson is on the bed. 25 years old. Face twisted in pain. Her husband Griffin beside her. Helpless. Terrified. The contractions started last night. Griffin says, his voice shaking. We thought they'd stop, but they're getting worse. I kneel beside the bed, Adeline. Look at me, she does. Eyes wide. We're going to handle this. I've already sent for the doctor. He's 3 days away, she gasps. Then we handle it ourselves. I stand. Look at Griffin. Boil water. Get clean towels. Find Opal. I'm here. Opal pushes through the door. Behind her. Wren, what do you need? Opal asks. The baby's coming early. Too early. We need. I know what we need. Opal moves to the bed. Starts checking Adeline. Wren stands in the doorway. Frozen. You should go tell her. This isn't. I'm staying. It's going to be difficult. I said I'm staying, and she moves to the other side of the bed. Takes Adeline's hand. The young woman grabs it. Squeezes. I'm scared, Adeline whispers. I know, Wren says, her voice steady. Calm. But you're strong. And you're not alone. What follows is the longest night of my life. And I've lived through plenty of long nights. Opal directs everything. Water, towels, positioning. I handle logistics. Sending riders to find the doctor. Preparing for every scenario. Keeping Griffin from falling apart completely. But Wren stays with Adeline, hour after hour, holding her hand, talking to her, wiping sweat from her face. Never leaving. Never showing fear, even though I can see it in her eyes. Tell me something, Adeline gasps between contractions. Anything, just talk to me, Wren thinks. When I was 7, I fell out of a tree. Broke my arm. My mother was furious because it wasn't ladylike. My father called me reckless. What did you do? Soon as my arm healed, I climbed the tree again. Higher than before. Adeline laughs, then screams. Another contraction. Worse. The night stretches, endless. Dawn approaches. The doctor hasn't arrived. Paul's face is tight. It's time, she says, ready or not. This baby's coming. What happens next? I've seen births before, helped with difficult calvings, assisted when workers' wives needed help. But this is different. This is a baby, 4 weeks early. So small. Adeline pushes, screams. Wren talks to her the entire time. never letting go of her hand. You're doing it. You're so strong. Just a little more, and then a cry, thin, weak, but a cry. Paul works fast, cutting the cord, cleaning the baby, wrapping him. Boy, she announces, small but breathing. She places him in Adeline's arms. The young mother, exhausted, tears streaming, looks down at her son. Jacob, she whispers. His name is Jacob. I step back, give them space. Find Wren outside. She's sitting on the porch steps, hands shaking. You did well in there, I say. I was terrified. Couldn't tell that's the point, isn't it? Being terrified but not letting it stop you. I sit beside her. We watch the sunrise, gold and pink spreading across the valley. This is what it's like here, I say after a while. This is normal? Births, deaths, emergencies, things breaking, things working, all of it. And you handle it alone, not alone, with everyone here. That's what community means. She looks at me. You really believe that? That these people are your family? They are. Blood doesn't make family. Choice does. Showing up does. Standing beside someone when things are hard does. Wren stands. Brushes dirt from her dress. I need to sleep. I've been awake for 30 hours, of course. She starts toward the house. Stops. Turns. Marcus, yes? Thank you. For not making me leave. For letting me help. You didn't need permission. You just did what needed doing. She nods. Goes inside. And I sit there, thinking she's been here 5 days. And already she's more a part of this place than some people who've been here for years. The question isn't whether she fits. She clearly does. The question is whether she'll choose to stay. Day 7. I wake to darkness, not the normal darkness of pre-dawn. This is different, heavier. The air pressure wrong. I dress quickly. Step outside. The sky is black, not with night, with clouds. Rolling in from the northwest like a solid wall. Bridger appears. Storm coming. Big one. How big? Worst I've seen in 5 years. I look at the compound. 42 people. Hundreds of cattle. Buildings that need securing. We have 2 hours. Maybe 3. What's the priority? Livestock first. Get everything under cover or into the protected pastures. Then secure buildings. Anything loose needs to be tied down or brought inside. Then the people? Once livestock is handled, everyone inside. No exceptions. Bridger nods, runs to the bell, rings it. The compound erupts. Lights in every window. People running. Everyone knows what that bell means. Emergency. All hands. I find Wren coming down the stairs. Already dressed. What's happening? Storm gonna be bad. You should stay inside. No, Wren, I ride. I can help with the livestock. It's dangerous. Everything's dangerous. Where do you need me? I look at her. This woman who's been here less than a week, who has no obligation to risk herself, who could easily stay safe inside, southern pasture. Help Bridger move the cattle to the protected valley. But if it gets too bad, you come back immediately. Understood. She's gone before I can say anything else. The next 2 hours are chaos, controlled chaos, everyone moving with purpose. Horses being corralled, cattle being driven, tools being secured, children being taken to the main house. The storm builds, wind picking up, temperature dropping, first drops of rain, cold, almost sleet. I'm everywhere, helping Cyrus secure the smithy, checking that Opal has enough supplies in case we're trapped for days, making sure the generator is fueled, and trying not to think about Wren. Out there, in what's coming, the rain starts in earnest. Driving, horizontal. I can barely see 20 feet. Everyone inside, I shout. People running, soaked, muddy. But moving. Where's Bridger? I ask Hans. Still out with the southern herd and Wren? With him. Thunder crashes. So loud it shakes the ground. Lightning splits the sky. I grab a horse. Marcus, no, Opal shouts. They should be back by now. I ride out. Into the storm. Into darkness and rain and wind that tries to tear me from the saddle. I find them a mile out. Bridger. 2 other hands. And Wren, driving the last of the cattle toward safety. But there's a problem. The lead bull, 2,000 pounds of muscle and terror, has broken from the herd. Running toward the cliff edge. The drop there is 200 feet, straight down. If he goes over, he's dead, and he's running straight for it. I spur my horse. So does Bridger. But Wren is closer. She cuts across, angles her horse. I'm shouting, but the wind takes my voice. The bull is 10 feet from the edge. 5. Rin puts herself between the bull and the cliff, her horse dancing. Nervous, she doesn't back down, waves her arms, shouts. The bull stops, confused. Angry, for a second I think he's going to charge her, going to take her and her horse over the edge. But she holds steady, and slowly, so slowly, the bull turns, heads back toward the herd. Ren follows, calm, like she didn't just risk her life. We get the cattle to safety. All of us, soaked, exhausted, but intact. Back at the compound, everyone is inside. Someone hands me a towel, coffee. I barely notice. I find Ren. She's standing by the fire, still dripping. Opal is trying to get her to sit. I'm fine. You're soaked through. I said I'm fine. I walk over. That was reckless. She looks at me. That was necessary. You could have died. But I didn't. The bull could have charged, but he didn't. You don't know these animals. I know enough. And everyone else was too far away. Someone had to do it. I'm angry. Actually angry, which surprises me. Because I'm not usually angry. You've been here a week. You don't have to prove anything. I'm not proving anything. I'm helping. That's what you do here, isn't it? Everyone helps. Opal touches my arm. Marcus. She's right. And she saved the herd. Let it go. I take a breath. Fine. But next time I'll do what needs doing. Same as this time. She walks away, upstairs. To change, Cyrus appears beside me. She's something. She's going to get herself killed, or she's going to keep everyone else alive. Hard to tell which. The storm lasts 3 days. 3 days of wind and rain and occasional lightning. 3 days trapped inside. 42 people, sharing space, sharing meals, sharing stories. I watch Ren. She doesn't isolate. Doesn't claim any special privilege. She sits with the children, tells them stories, helps Opal cook, plays cards with the ranch hands, and at night, when most people are sleeping, I find her in the library, reading by lamplight. Can't sleep, I ask. Storms make me restless. Me too. I sit. We listen to the rain, your wife Ren says after a while. Did she like storms? Hated them. Would light every lamp in the house. Say it made her feel safer. Did it work? No, but I never told her that. Ren smiles. Small. Sad. That's all of us, I suppose. Pretending the lamps work. What about you? Did anyone light lamps for you? No one paid attention to my fears long enough to notice the honesty of it. Casual, like it doesn't cut. But I can see it does. I'm sorry, I say. Don't be. It made me strong. You can't rely on lamps if no one lights them. You learn to see in the dark instead. On the 3rd day, the storm breaks. Sun emerges. Weak, watery. But there, we all go outside. Survey the damage. 2 buildings lost their roofs. Fences down in 3 places. One of the storage sheds collapsed, but no lives lost. No major injuries. All the livestock accounted for. Could have been worse, Bridger says. Could have been a lot worse, I agree. We spend the next week rebuilding. Everyone working. Ren included. She learns how to patch roofs, how to mend fences, how to work alongside people twice her size, and she never complains, never asks for special treatment, just does the work. One evening, 2 weeks into her stay, I find her on the ridge, our ridge, where I showed her the valley that first day. Hiding, I ask, thinking about how different this is from what I expected, good different or bad different. She doesn't answer right away, just looks out at the mountains, the valley, the compound below with its lights starting to glow as dusk falls. I thought it would be lonely, she says finally, being here, in the middle of nowhere, but it's not. There are more people here who actually see me than in all of Red Creek society. What do you mean? In town, people looked at me, but they saw what they expected, the difficult Morrison girl, the one who couldn't be fixed. Here, people just see me, what I do, not what I'm supposed to be. Is that enough to make you want to stay? She looks at me, those ice blue eyes. Not so icy anymore. Ask me in 2 weeks. That's the deal. That's the deal. But I can see something shifting, something changing, and I realize the question isn't whether she'll fit here. She already does. The question is whether she'll choose this, choose us, choose me. And I can't know that until she decides. All I can do is give her space, give her time, give her the truth about what this life is, the hard parts and the beautiful parts, and hope that it's enough. Morning of day 16. I'm mending tack in the barn. Routine work. Gives my hands something to do while my mind wanders. And my mind keeps wandering to Wren 2 weeks. She's been here 2 weeks, halfway through the trial months. Every day I see her becoming more a part of this place. She rides out with Bridger to check irrigation. Studies the account books with me in the evenings. Helps Opal plan winter food storage. Teaches the children basic reading. It's like she's always been here. Like the missing piece I didn't know was missing. But I don't tell her this. Don't pressure. The deal was a month. And I'm a man of my word. Bridger appears in the doorway. Face tight. We have visitors. Who? Riders from Red Creek. 6 of them. Led by Sutton Morrison. My blood runs cold. Where's Wren? In the house. I already sent Ann to keep her there. Good. I set down the tack. Walk out. 6 horses approaching. 5 men in Morrison colors. And Sutton himself. 60 years old, red-faced, fat from years of good living that he can no longer afford. He sees me. Dismounts with difficulty. Thorne. Morrison. Wasn't expecting you. I came to check on my daughter, make sure she arrives safely, that she's being treated well. The pause before. Treated well. Heavy with meaning. With threat, she's fine. You can go now. I think I'll see her first. Speak with her. Privately. No. The word hangs in the air. Sutton's face darkens. I'm her father. You're the man who sold her. You don't get to check on merchandise after delivery. How dare you? I dare because this is my land, my ranch, and Wren is under my protection now. You don't get access unless she wants it. One of Sutton's men moves his hand toward his gun. Immediately. Bridger is there. Cyrus. 3 other ranch hands, all armed, all watching. Sutton raises a hand. Stopping his man, Wren, he calls, shouting toward the house. Wren Morrison, come out here. The door opens. Wren steps out. She's wearing work clothes. Her hair is braided. There's dirt under her fingernails. She looks nothing like the society woman Sutton probably expected, and father. Her voice is flat. Cold, Wren. Thank God. I came to make sure you're all right. I'm fine. You look different. I look like myself. Sutton's eyes dart between us. Calculating we need to speak, privately, about the arrangement. Anything you have to say, you can say in front of everyone. This is family business. These people are more family than you've been in years. Sutton's face goes from red to purple. How dare you speak to me like that? How dare you come here pretending to care about my well-being when we both know you only care about your payment? Silence. Heavy. Dangerous, Mr. Thorne, Sutton says, turning to me. Voice controlled now. Deadly. We had an agreement. A financial arrangement. I believe it's time we finalize the details. There is no financial arrangement, excuse me. I told you in my letter. Payment after the wedding. Only if she agrees, and she's here, isn't she? That's agreement enough. No, Wren says, it's not. Sutton looks at her. What? I haven't agreed to anything. Marcus gave me a choice. 1 month to decide. We're only halfway through a choice? Sutton laughs, sharp, bitter. You don't get choices. You're my daughter. I arranged this marriage. You arranged nothing. You tried to sell me to solve your debt problems. But Marcus isn't buying. And I'm not for sale. Sutton takes a step toward her. I move between them. That's far enough. She's my daughter. She's a grown woman who's making her own decisions now. You can leave peacefully, or you can be escorted off my land. Your choice. Sutton looks around, at my men, at Wren, at the compound that's clearly thriving without his influence or money. You're making a mistake, Thorne. Both of you. I have connections, influence. I can make things very difficult for you. You can try. The Dallas ranchers need each other to survive. You think you can operate up here alone? Cut off from trade? From supplies? I've been doing it for 20-year purs. I'll manage. Sutton's hands are shaking now. From rage. From desperation. Wren, please be reasonable. This marriage would solve everything. It would solve your problems, father. Not mine. You want money. Earn it honestly. You want respect. Try treating people with dignity. I gave you everything. You gave me a roof and food, and the constant message that I was wrong. That's not everything. That's the bare minimum. For a moment, just a moment, something flickers across Sutton's face. Pain. Regret. But it's gone fast. Replaced by cold fury. Fine. Keep her, Thorne. But don't expect any cooperation from Red Creek. Don't expect trade agreements. Don't expect anything except isolation. I'll survive. Sutton mounts his horse. Awkward. Angry. You'll regret this, both of you. When winter comes and you're cut off. When you need supplies and no one will trade with you. When you realize you've burned every bridge for a woman who can't even be civilized. Each wheels his horse, rides out. His men follow. We watch until they disappear over the ridge. Then Wren's legs give out. I catch her, support her weight. I've got you. I just told my father to leave. You stood up to him. There's a difference. He's going to make good on his threats. Probably. Aren't you worried? I help her to the porch. We sit. I've dealt with men like your father before. They bluster. They threaten. But at the end of the day, they need me more than I need them. How? Because I'm the only ranch that pays fair prices for the Valley Farm's excess grain. I'm the only one who trades honestly. If Sutton tries to organize against me, half the valley will refuse. You sound certain. I am. I've spent 20 years building relationships based on integrity. Your father spent 20 years building them on debt and manipulation. When those systems compete, integrity wins. Wren is quiet. Processing. He's going to try something else, she says finally. Probably. Doesn't that worry you? Less than losing you would. She looks at me. Startled, Marcus. I'm not trying to pressure you. I'm just being honest. Your father can threaten all he wants. It doesn't change anything. The deal stands. 1 month. Your choice, and if I choose to leave. If I decide this isn't for me, then I keep my promise. $2,000. Best horse. Complete freedom. Even though my father will never pay you, I never wanted his money. I wanted you to have a choice. She studies me, like she's trying to solve a puzzle. Why? Why what? Why do this? Risk your business relationships. Risk conflict. All for someone you barely know? I think about how to answer. About truth versus tactic. Choose truth because I watched my wife spend 20 years here without choice. My father bought her from her father before we even met. She was 16. I was 18. Neither of us had any say. I pause. She was a good woman, a strong woman. She learned to love this place, learned to love me, but there was always something missing. Some spark that never quite caught fire, because she didn't choose it, exactly. And I swore I'd never do that to someone else. If I was going to ask someone to share this life, it had to be their choice. Freely made. Without coercion, Wren's eyes are wet. That's the most romantic thing anyone's ever said to me. It's just honesty. That's why it's romantic. We sit there, in the cooling afternoon, watching the sun start its descent toward the mountains. 16 days, she says. 16 days. Halfway, halfway. Ask me something, she says suddenly. What? Ask me something you want to know. We've spent 2 weeks dancing around each other, being polite. But if we're going to make any kind of decision at the end of this month, we should probably actually know each other. Fair point. All right, what do you want? Not what your parents wanted for you. Not what society expects. What do you actually want, she thinks. Really thinks I want to matter. To do work that means something. To be seen for what I can do, not what I look like or who my family is. She pauses. I want to stop being judged for being difficult when all I'm doing is being honest. I want to stop apologizing for having opinions, for standing up for people, for not fitting into the narrow little box society built for women. You have all of that here, I know. That's what scares me. Why? Because what if it's too good to be true? What if I choose this and then it falls apart? What if she stops? What if I'm not enough? What if you realize you made a mistake choosing the difficult Morrison girl? I turned to face her fully. Wren, listen to me. I didn't choose you in spite of being difficult. I chose you because of it. The world has enough people who stay quiet, who bow and scrape and accept injustice. It needs more people like you. You don't know me well enough to say that. I know what matters. And what matters is what you do when no one's watching, when there's no reward, when it would be easier to stay silent. How do you know what I do when no one's watching? Because I watched you 3 years ago defend an old man who couldn't defend himself. No audience, no applause, just doing what was right. Her breath catches. You really did wait 3 years, every day. That's insane, probably. That's obsessive, definitely. That's She stops, shakes her head. Ask me your question in 14 days. What? At the end of the month. Ask me if I want to stay. But not before. I need all 30 days to be sure. All right. 14 days. But I can see something in her eyes now, something that wasn't there before. Hope, maybe. Or the beginning of it. And for now, that's enough. Day 17. I wake to find Wren already in the kitchen, with Opal, making bread, not just helping, actually making it, hands deep in dough, kneading with the rhythm that comes from practice. Morning, Opal says, not looking up. Morning, I pour coffee. Watch them work. There's something about the way Wren moves now. More settled, less like guest, more like someone who belongs. Bridger wants to check the western irrigation today, I say. Use an extra set of eyes. Wren looks up. Flower on her cheek. I'll go. You don't have to. I want to. I should understand how the water system works before. She stops. Catches herself before what? Before she decides to stay. Before she commits. Before this becomes permanent. She doesn't finish the sentence. Just goes back to needing. But I heard what she didn't say. And it gives me hope. Dangerous hope. The kind that makes you vulnerable. They ride out mid-morning. Wren and Bridger. I watch from the ridge. Can't help myself. She sits her horse like she was born to it, confident. Easy. Bridger points to something. She nods. Asks a question I can't hear. He answers. They're too far away for me to make out words. But I can see the dynamic. Teacher and student, but also equals Bridger doesn't talk down to her. And she doesn't pretend to know what she doesn't. That evening, dinner is communal, like most nights. Long table in the main hall. Anyone who wants can join. Usually 20 or 30 people. Tonight it's crowded. Someone made venison stew, fresh bread, pie from the last of the autumn apples. Wren sits between Anne and Cyrus. Laughing at something Anne said, I'm at the head of the table, watching. Always watching. You're staring. Opal says quietly, sitting to my right, I'm observing. You're staring like a lovesick fool. I'm 58. Too old for lovesick. Age doesn't make you immune to stupid. I almost smile. Fair point. She fits here, I know. Question is whether she knows it. Later. Much later. I find Wren in the library. Again. She's made this her space. This room that was Constance's favorite. Reading or hiding? I ask. Can't it be both? What are you hiding from? He closes the book. Sets it aside. Decisions. Feelings. The future. Pick one. I sit in the chair across from her. Want to talk about it? Not particularly. Want me to leave you alone? Not particularly. So we sit. In comfortable silence. The kind that only happens when two people don't need to fill every moment with words. Rain starts. Soft. Gentle. Not like the storm from week 1. Just October rain. Steady. Soothing. I had a life in Red Creek. Wren says finally. Not a good life, but a life. Friends. Routines. Familiar things. Missing it? No. That's what scares me. I don't miss any of it. Not my parents' house. Not the social calls. Not the endless pretending to be someone I'm not. She pauses. I don't miss anything about that life. And it's only been 2 weeks. That bother you? Shouldn't it? Shouldn't I feel some attachment to the place I spent 30 years? Maybe. Or maybe you spent 30 years waiting to leave and just didn't know it. She looks at me. Really looks. Is that what happened with you? After Constance died, did you just wait? I worked, built, expanded. Told myself I was creating legacy, but I was filling time, filling space. Trying not to think about the fact that I was building something beautiful for no one, until you saw me in that town square, until I saw you stand up to Porter, until I saw someone who didn't care about social consequences, who just did what was right, and you decided I was the answer to your loneliness. No, I decided you were someone worth knowing. The rest came later. Wren stands, walks to the window, watches rain streak the glass. What if I'm not who you think I am? She asks, voice small, vulnerable. What if I disappoint you? What if I'm just difficult and stubborn and impossible to live with? Then we'll be difficult together. You're not difficult. You haven't seen me during a hard winter when supplies run low and tempers run high. She almost smiles, Marcus. I need you to understand something. I'm not easy. I question. I push back when I disagree. I can't just smile and nod and let things go. Good, good. I don't need agreement. I need partnership. And partnership means sometimes we disagree, sometimes we fight, sometimes we make each other furious. I stand, walk to where she's standing, but at the end of every fight, at the end of every disagreement, we're still on the same side, still working toward the same goal. That's all that matters. Which goal? Building something that lasts, something real, something worth leaving behind. She's quiet for a long time. Rain continues, steady, eternal. Ask me in 13 days, she whispers. I will, but I want to ask now. Want to know now, want certainty now, because uncertainty is harder than rejection. At least rejection is clear. This waiting, this hoping, this not knowing. It's torture, beautiful, terrible, torture. Day 20. 3 days after Sutton's visit, I'm working on accounts, numbers, logistics, winter supplies, orders. Boring but necessary. Bridger comes in. Face tight. We have a problem. I set down my pen. What kind? Fire. Southern storage barn. I'm running before he finishes the sentence. Out the door. Across the compound, the southern barn is already engulfed. Flames 20 feet high. Black smoke pouring into the afternoon sky. Everyone back, I shout. People scattered, some with buckets, trying to fight it. But it's too far gone. Forget the barn, I yell. Protect the other buildings. Water on the roofs. Now, organized chaos. People moving. Bucket brigades forming. Wren appears beside me. Face smudged with ash. What do you need? Get everyone away from the barn. Make sure no one's trying to be a hero. That building is lost, she nods. Runs, shouting orders, moving people back, coordinating, leading. We fight for 3 hours, not to save the barn, to save everything else, soaking the nearby buildings, creating fire breaks, watching, waiting, praying the wind doesn't shift. By evening, the barn is ash. Everything else stands. We save the compound, but we lost the barn, and everything in it. I stand in the ruins, still smoking, still hot, calculating losses. How bad? Bridger asks, coming up beside me. Bad. That barn held winter feed for the cattle. Grain, hay, enough to get through to spring. How much did we lose? About 30% of our winter stores. Can we make it without it? If we ration, if we supplement with purchased grain. If winter is mild, and if it's not, then we lose cattle. Maybe a lot of them. Cyrus approaches, holding something, a rag. Oil-soaked, found this, and 2 others like it. Different corners of the barn. I take it. Smell it. Kerosene. My blood runs cold. This wasn't an accident, no, sir. This was deliberate. I looked toward Red Creek. Hidden beyond the valley ridge. Sutton. It has to be. 3 days after I refused to pay him. 3 days after Wren stood up to him, this is his answer. Don't tell anyone yet, I say. Not about the rags. Not about it being arson. Just say it was an accident. Why? Because if people know it was deliberate, if they know someone is actively sabotaging us, it'll create fear, division. That's what whoever did this wants. Bridger nods. Cyrus, us too. What about you? Bridger asks. What are you going to do? Nothing? Not yet. Let them think they got away with it. Let them get comfortable. Then we respond. That night, everyone is subdued. The loss of the barn, the implications for winter. It's heavy on everyone. I call a meeting. Everyone who works here, 42 people. Packed into the main hall, I stand at the front. Look at faces I've known for years, and faces that are new. Wren stands near the back, watching. Today we lost the southern barn. I start, and about a third of our winter feed. That's serious. But it's not catastrophic, murmurs. Worried. We're going to ration. We're going to supplement with purchased grain from the valley. We're going to hunt more, fish more. Preserve everything we can. I pause. And we're going to make it through, because that's what we do here. We face problems and we solve them. Together. What if the valley won't sell to us? Someone calls out. Morrison said he'd cut us off. Let him try. I've been trading with valley farmers for 20 years. Most of them know me. Know I'm honest. They'll sell, but what if they don't? Then we make do. We've survived worse. Another voice. What caused the fire? I pause. Choose my words carefully. We're still investigating. But regardless of cause, it's done. Now we move forward. After the meeting, people disperse, worried, but not panicking. That's good. Panic kills more than problems do. Wren finds me outside. You lied to them. I didn't lie. I just didn't tell them everything. You know it was arson. I suspect it was arson. There's a difference, Marcus. My father did this, maybe, not maybe, definitely. 3 days after threatening you. 3 days after I told him to leave. This is retaliation, probably, and you're going to do nothing? I'm going to do what's necessary, in the right time, in the right way. That's not enough. Her voice rising, angry. He burned your barn. He destroyed your winter supplies. He's trying to hurt you because of me. He's trying to hurt me because he's desperate. This has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with me. If I wasn't here, if you weren't here, I'd still have refused to pay him. I'd still have made him my enemy. Because men like Sutton Morrison are everyone's enemy, eventually. She's pacing now, agitated. Upset? You should send me back. Agree to marry someone else. Someone whose father isn't a vindictive criminal. No, Marcus, no. I'm not sending you anywhere. I'm not changing the deal. 1 month. Your choice. That's stanzas of what your father does. But if I stay, if you stay, we'll deal with it together. If you leave, I'll deal with it alone. Either way, Sutton Morrison doesn't get to dictate what happens here. She stops pacing. Looks at me. Eyes wet? He's going to do something worse. You know that, probably, and you're okay with that? No. But I'm prepared for it. How can you be so calm? Because panic doesn't solve problems. Planning does. She shakes her head. You're either the wisest man I've ever met or the most stubborn. Can it be both? Almost a smile. Almost. But not quite. I'm scared, she admits. Quiet. Like it costs her to say it. Of what? Of being the reason you lose everything. Of my father destroying what you've built. Of choosing to stay and bringing ruin with me. I step closer, Wren. Listen to me. I've lost everything once before. When Constance died. When this place felt empty despite being full. I survived that. I'll survive whatever your father throws at us. But nothing. The only thing I won't survive is living the rest of my life wondering what would have happened if I'd been brave enough to wait for you. She's crying now. Not sobbing. Just tears sliding down her cheeks. You waited 3 years. I'd have waited 30 if that's what it took. That's insane. That's love. The word hangs between us. Love. I didn't mean to say it. Not yet. Not like this. But it's out now, and I can't take it back. Don't want to take it back. Wren goes very still. You love me statement. Not question. Yes. You barely know me. I know enough. You're 58 years old. You should be wiser than this. Age doesn't make you immune to feeling. It should. Why? Because it would hurt less if I have to leave. The words hang heavy. If conditional. Not certain. But the possibility alone cuts deep. Is that your decision, I ask? Keeping my voice level. Calm. Even though my chest feels like it's caving in. I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. She wipes her eyes. Angry at herself for crying. I came here thinking this would be simple. A month. A decision. A new life or the same old one and it's not simple. Nothing about this is simple. You're not simple. This place isn't simple. What I'm feeling isn't simple. What are you feeling? She looks at me. Eyes red. Face flushed. Beautiful in her honesty. I'm feeling like, for the first time in my life, someone sees me as something other than a problem to be solved. And it terrifies me. Why? Because what if you're wrong? What if I'm not what you think I am? What if I stay and disappoint you and ruin everything? You won't. You can't know that. I can. Because I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to be yourself, which you already are. She shakes her head. Steps back. I need time. You have 10 days. I need more than that. That was the deal, I know. But She stops. Can't finish. Turns. Walks away. Back to the house. Leaving me standing in the dark. With the smell of smoke still in the air. And the word if echoing in my head. I don't sleep. Lie in bed. Staring at the ceiling. Replaying the conversation. Every word. Every pause. Every moment. She said if, not when. Still uncertainty. Still a chance. But the fear in her voice tells me she's closer to leaving than staying. Dawn comes gray. Cold. I get up. Dress. Downstairs. The kitchen is empty. Too early even for Opal. I make coffee. Stand at the window. Watching the valley wake up. The door opens behind me. Wren, also awake. Also unable to sleep, apparently. Morning, she says. Quiet, tentative morning. She pours coffee. Stands beside me. We don't speak, just stand there, together but separate, close but distant. I'm sorry, she says finally, about last night. Don't be, I shouldn't have. You were honest. That's all I've ever asked for. More silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable, Marcus. Can I ask you something? Anything, if I leave. At the end of the 30 days, if I choose to go, will you hate me? I turned to look at her. Never. How can you be sure? Because hating you would require believing you made the wrong choice. And if you choose to leave, it means this place wasn't right for you, that I wasn't right for you. I can't hate you for knowing what you need, even if it breaks your heart. Even then, she sets down her coffee. You're a better man than I deserve. You deserve better than you've been given. That's why I'm trying. The eastern sky lightens, pink and gold, beautiful. Indifferent to human pain, I'm going to ride out today, Wren says. Alone, just me and a horse. I need to think. Where? I don't know. Just away. Every instinct says no. Says don't let her go. Says she might not come back. But I can't cage her. Won't cage her. Take Juniper. She knows the trails, and take supplies. Just in case. In case what? In case you need time. In case you don't come back before dark. In case you decide to just keep riding. He looks at me, searching for something. You'd really let me go. Just like that, I promised you freedom. That includes freedom to leave. Most men wouldn't. I'm not most men. No, you're really not. She touches my hand. Brief. Fleeting. Thank you. For that, for all of it. Then she's gone. Upstairs to change. I stand at the window, watching, waiting. 30 minutes later she emerges, dressed for riding, hair braided, saddlebags packed. Bridger has Juniper ready. Wren mounts, looks back at the house once. I don't know if she sees me in the window, but I raise my hand anyway. She turns, rides north, toward the high country, and I watch until she disappears. She's not coming back, Opal says, appearing beside me. You don't know that. Woman rides off alone with packed bags. What do you think that means? It means she needs space. It means she's running, maybe. And you're going to let her. Yes. Opal shakes her head. You're a fool, Marcus Thorne, probably. A noble fool. But a fool nonetheless as the day passes. Slow. Endless. By afternoon, dark clouds roll in. From the northwest, fast. Dangerous. Storm coming, Cyrus says. Bad one. I look at the sky. At the black wall approaching. And think about alone. In the high country. With the storm bearing down. Get everyone inside, I tell Bridger. Secure everything. What about? I'm going after her, Marcus. That storm will be here in an hour. You won't make it back? Then I won't make it back. You could die out there. I could. But I'm not leaving her alone in that. I ride hard, fast, racing the storm. The wind picks up. Temperature drops. First drops of rain. Cold. Small sleet. I push harder, following the trail north. Juniper's hoof prints clear in the soft earth. She's been gone 6 hours. Could be anywhere. But there are only so many trails. Only so many places she'd go. I gamble on the eastern ridge. The overlook where I first showed her the valley, where she's gone several times since. I'm right, I see Juniper first, tied to a tree, then Wren, sitting on a rock looking out at the valley, at the storm approaching. She doesn't turn when I dismount, doesn't acknowledge me, just sits still, quiet. Storm's coming, I say. I know, bad one. We need to find shelter, I know. Wren, I wasn't running. Her voice is soft, almost lost in the wind. I didn't say you were. You thought it. Everyone thought it. She turns, looks at me, face wet. From rain or tears, hard to tell. I came up here to think, to try to make sense of what I want versus what I should do versus what's safe versus what's terrifying, and I realize something. Thunder rumbles. Closer. The storm is almost here. I've spent my entire life being safe, being appropriate, doing what was expected, and it made me miserable. She stands, then I came here, to this place, with you. And for 3 weeks I've been more myself than I've been in 30 years. And it terrifies me. Why? Because it feels too good to be real, too perfect to last. Like any moment it's going to be ripped away. Lightning, close, bright. We need to move. But I can't. Can't leave this moment, Wren. I can't promise you perfect. I can't promise easy. But I can promise real. I can promise that what you see here is what you get. No pretense, no performance, just life. Hard and beautiful and real, I know. Then what are you afraid of? I'm afraid of choosing this and failing, of not being enough, of disappointing you. The rain comes. Hard. Driving. We're both soaked in seconds. We need shelter. I shout over the wind. There's a cave. Quarter-mile east. Show me, she unties Juniper. Mounts. We ride. Through rain and wind and lightning. To a shallow cave. Small, but dry. We get the horses inside. Barely enough room for us and them. I build a fire. Small, just enough for warmth. We sit, wet, cold, waiting for the storm to pass. You came after me, Wren says. Of course, you could have died. So could you. I can take care of myself, I know. But that doesn't mean you should have to. Not all the time. She's shivering. I wrap a blanket around her, pull her close. She doesn't resist. Just leans into me. I wasn't running, she says again. I believe you. I was trying to figure out how to stay. My breath catches. What? I was sitting up there, watching the valley, watching the storm come, and thinking about leaving. About taking your money and your horse and starting over somewhere else. She pauses, and I realized I don't want to start over. I want this. Want here. Want you, Wren, but I'm scared. So scared. Because what if I'm not strong enough? What if winter is hard and I can't handle it? What if we fight and I ruin everything? I turn her to face me, then we'll figure it out. Together. That's what partnership means. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up, even when I'm difficult, especially then, even when I argue. I'd be worried if you didn't. She laughs. Wet. Shaky. You're either very brave or very stupid. Can it be both? This time she really laughs. And then she's kissing me. Hard. Desperate. Like she's been holding back for 3 weeks and can't anymore. I kiss her back. Tasting rain and coffee. And something that tastes like hope. When we break apart, we're both breathing hard. Is that a yes? I ask. Ask me in 8 days, Wren. The deal was 30 days. I'm honoring it. Ask me in 8 days, and what do I do until then? You wait. Like you've been waiting for 3 years. That's cruel. That's fair. The storm rages. We sit, close, together. And for the first time, I'm not worried about her leaving. Because that kiss wasn't goodbye. It was hello. Day 24. 2 days after the storm. 6 days until the end of the month. A rider comes, not from Red Creek. From the Territorial Marshal's office, Marcus Thorne, he asks. Young. Official. Nervous. That's me. He hands me a paper. Sealed. Legal. You're required to appear before the territorial judge in Red Creek. 3 days from now. Charges of arson and destruction of property. My blood goes cold. What? Sutton Morrison has filed formal charges. Says you burned his barn. Says he has witnesses. That's insane. I was here. 30 miles away. That's what the hearing is for. To determine the facts. He tips his hat. Rides away. I stand there, holding the paper, reading it, then reading it again. This is Sutton's next move. Can't hurt me financially, can't isolate me, so he tries to destroy me legally, not prep me for the crime he committed. Get me arrested, maybe imprisoned. Leave Thorn Ridge vulnerable. Leave Wren unprotected, brilliant, vicious, and potentially effective. That night I tell Wren. She goes, pale, this is my fault. No, yes, he's doing this because of me. Because I chose you over him. Because I humiliated him. He's doing this because he's desperate and cornered. That makes him dangerous. What if you go to this hearing and they arrest you? What if they actually believe him? Then I fight it from jail, if necessary. She stands, paces, agitated. This is exactly what I was afraid of. My father destroying everything you've built. Using me as an excuse. He's not destroying anything. He's making noise. Dangerous noise. I stand. Walk to her. Take her hands, Wren. I have to go. If I don't. If I run, it's as good as admitting guilt. And that destroys my reputation, my business, everything I've built. So you're choosing reputation over safety. I'm choosing to fight for what's mine. For what's... The word hangs. Ours. Implying a future, implying she's staying. She notices. We don't have an oars yet. 6 days. 6 days isn't decided, isn't it? She pulls her hands away. You can't do this. Can't do what? Assume. Plan a future I haven't agreed to. You kissed me. That doesn't mean it means something. It means I'm confused. It means I don't know what I want. It means she stops, breathing hard. It means I'm terrified of making the wrong choice. Again. I've spent 30 years making choices other people wanted, trying to be what they needed, and it never worked. I was never enough, never right. Her voice breaks. What if I choose this life, and I'm still not enough? What if I'm still wrong? You're not. You can't know that. I can. Because you're not trying to be what I need. You're just being yourself. And that's all I've ever wanted. Tears on her face now. You keep saying that. But you don't know me when things are hard. When I'm angry or scared or difficult, I've seen you difficult. I've seen you scared. I'm seeing you angry right now, and I value you more for it. She makes a sound, half laugh, half sob. You're impossible, I'm honest. Same thing. Day 25. 2 days before the hearing, I prepare. Gathered documents proving I was here when Sutton's barn burned. Statements from Bridger Cyrus Opal. Everyone who saw me that day. It won't be enough if Sutton has paid witnesses, but it's something. Wren watches me pack. Silent, tense. I'm coming with you, she says finally. No, yes, we argue. But I win. She stays, to keep the ranch running, to stay safe. That night, last night before I leave, we sit in the library. Fire burning. Rain outside. What happens if they convict you? Wren asks. Quiet. Prison. Maybe years in this place. Bridger runs it. He knows what to do, and me? You make your choice. 6 days from now. Stay or go. Regardless of where I am, she's quiet for a long time. If I decide to stay. If I choose this, choose you. I need you to promise me something. Anything. Don't die. I'll try. Don't joke. Promise. I promise. I'll do everything in my power to come back. She walks to me, kneels beside my chair, takes my hands. Marcus Thorne. You are the most frustrating man I've ever met. I'll take that as a compliment. You're stubborn. Impossible. Infuriatingly noble. Still sounds like a compliment. And I think I'm falling in love with you. Everything stops. Time. Breath. Heart. What? I think I'm falling in love with you. Which is terrible timing. Because you're leaving tomorrow to possibly get arrested and imprisoned, and I might never see you again. Wren. So don't die. Don't let my father win. Don't let this be over before it's even started. I pull her up into my lap. Hold her close. I won't. Promise, I promise. Day 26. I ride out at dawn. Alone the journey takes all day. Down from the mountain, through the valley to Red Creek. The hearing the next morning is exactly as I expect. Sutton's paid witnesses lie. I dismantle them with evidence, almanacs showing the moon phase inconsistencies in their stories. Judge Hawkins, the same stern old man from the first hearing, looks annoyed. Mr. Morrison, your witnesses are inconsistent at best, perjured at worst. Do you have any actual evidence? Sutton stands, red-faced. Furious. That man burned my barn. He's been trying to ruin me for months. Do you have proof? Everyone knows he wanted to destroy me. He refused to pay the bride price. He stole my daughter. I didn't steal anyone, I say, standing. Your daughter chose to come to my ranch, and she chose to stay. And I refused to pay you because buying a human being is immoral and illegal. The courtroom erupts. Hawkins dismisses the charges, but as I leave the courthouse, Morrison's hired guns are waiting, and a marshal I don't recognize. They arrest me on new charges. Kidnapping. Unlawful imprisonment of Wren Morrison. The cell is small, 8 by 8. Stone walls, iron bars. I sit on the cot, head in my hands, calculating, planning the charges won't stick. Wren will testify I didn't kidnap her, but that's not the point. The point is time. Every day I'm here is a day Sutton has to work on her. The marshal gives me one letter, one message out. I write to Judge Hawkins, quick, clear, explaining everything. The next morning, footsteps. Light, female. Wren appears at the bars. What are you doing here? What do you think I'm doing? I came for you. Behind her, Judge Hawkins. He orders the cell opened. You're either very clever or very lucky, Mr. Thorne. Hawkins says, clever. Writing to me directly, explaining the situation, providing evidence of Miss Morrison's voluntary presence at your ranch. The charges are dismissed. I'm free. Outside, Bridger waits with Ann, Cyrus, and 5 other ranch hands, all armed. Thought you might need backup, Bridger says. How did you? Miss Wren sent word. Told us to come prepared. I look at Wren. She shrugs. Told you I can handle myself. You brought an army. I brought family. There's a difference. We ride north. Out of Red Creek, back to the mountain, back to safety. 2 miles out, Wren rides up beside me. You sent the letter to Hawkins. Yes, smart. Day 26, I know. 4 days left, I know. Does that change your decision? She doesn't answer right away, just rides. Thinking finally, ask me in 4 days. Still holding to the deal, still honoring the deal. Day 27, day 28, the tension builds. Wren and I work through it, mending fences. Literally and figuratively, she admits she knows what she wants, but she's scared to claim it. I push, tell her she loves me. She gets angry. Storms off. Bridger tells me I'm an idiot. You've got 3 days left. And you're picking fights. I wasn't picking a fight. I was being honest. Same thing with women. Fair point. But the next day, Wren finds me. We work together, in silence at first. Then she speaks. You were right. About me knowing what I want, and being scared to claim it, we talk. Really talk. About fear. About choice. About what it means to finally listen to herself. That night we sit on the ridge. Our ridge, 2 days, she says. 2 days. If I choose to leave, will you be all right? No, but I'll survive. I always do. That's not much comfort. It's the truth. You asked for truth? She leans against me. Just slightly. I don't want to hurt you, then don't. Stay. It's not that simple. It's exactly that simple. Everything else we can figure out. Together, day 29. The second to last day, mid-morning, a rider comes, female, blonde, Iris Morrison. Wren goes pale. What is she doing here? Iris brings a warning. Father is planning something bad. He's coming here tonight or tomorrow. With men, how many? 10. Maybe 12. Armed? Yes, Wren thanks her sister. It's a small moment. 2 words, but they mean something. After Iris leaves, we prepare. That night, last night before the deadline, Wren and I sit in the library. Tomorrow, he says, tomorrow. And my father will probably attack, probably. This isn't how I imagine making this decision. Life doesn't usually cooperate with imagination. She kneels beside my chair, takes my hands. Tomorrow. When I make my choice, whatever I choose, I need you to know something. What, these 30 days? This place. You. It's been the most real thing I've ever experienced. Whether I stay or go, that won't change. Wren, let me finish. I came here expecting to be bought, sold, owned, and instead I was given freedom, given choice, given respect. Tears on her face now. Whatever happens tomorrow, thank you for seeing me, for wanting me. Being exactly who you are, I pull her up into my lap, hold her close. Whatever you choose, I'll accept it. But know this, I love you completely, and that won't change either, even if I leave. Even then, she kisses me. Soft, sweet, sad, like goodbye, or maybe hello, hard to tell. I wake to shouting. Riders, at least 15. I'm led by Morrison. Dawn is just breaking, gray, cold. November 1st, the last day, decision day, and Sutton chose it for his final move. I run outside, to the main gate. Wren stands there, alone, facing the riders. Facing her father, I move beside her. You shouldn't be here alone. I'm not alone anymore. Sutton rides forward. 15 men behind him, all armed, all dangerous. Wren, he calls. It's time to come home. I am home. This isn't home. This is a prison. This man has poisoned your mind. This man gave me freedom. More than you ever did. I'm your father. You're a man who tried to sell me. There's a difference. Sutton's face darkens. I'm taking you back. Today. Now. Whether you want to come or not? No. You're not. You don't have a choice. I always have a choice. That's what you never understood. He turns to his men. Take her. They dismount. Start forward. Immediately our people appear. From buildings. From cover. 42 people. All standing. All watching. All ready. The hired guns stop. Outnumbered. Outmatched. This is kidnapping, Sutton shouts. This is community, I reply. And you're trespassing. She's my daughter. She's a grown woman making her own choices. Sutton pulls a gun. Points it at me. Then I'll make the choice for her. Everything stops. Time. Breath. Heart. Wren steps in front of me. No. Get out of the way, Wren. No. You want to shoot him. You shoot me first. Don't be ridiculous. I'm not being ridiculous. I'm making a choice. The choice you never gave me. The choice Marcus did. He stands tall, fearless. I choose him. I choose this place. I choose this life. And you have no power here. Sutton's hand shakes. The gun wavers, you're throwing your life away. I'm claiming my life. For the first time. And you can't stop me, silence. Long, terrible, beautiful. Then Sutton lowers the gun, not because he wants to, because he has to, because surrounded by witnesses, by community, by people who actually care about Wren, he has no power. You'll regret this, he says, voice broken, empty, maybe, but it'll be my regret, my choice. My life, he looks at her, really looks at her, and for just a moment I see something crack in him, some recognition that he's lost. Not just today, but years ago. When he chose control over love, goodbye, Father. Wren's voice is soft now. Final. I hope someday you find peace. Sutton turns his horse, rides as his men follow. We watch until they disappear over the ridge. Then Wren turns to me. Day 30. Day 30. I believe you had a question to ask. I take her hands. Right there, in front of everyone, in front of our community, our family. Wren Morrison. Will you stay? Will you marry me? Will you build this life with me? She smiles. Bright, real, unguarded. I thought you'd never ask. Is that a yes? That's a definitely yes. I kiss her. Long, deep. Not caring who's watching. Behind us, people cheer, applaud, celebrate, because this is what community means. Sharing joy, sharing victory, sharing life. When we finally break apart, Wren is laughing. 30 days. Longest 30 days of my life, mine too. But worth it, because now I know this choice is mine. Not fear, not obligation, not desperation. Just choice. Best choice you've ever made, second best. What's the first? Standing up to Porter 3 years ago. Because if I hadn't, you wouldn't have noticed me. I would have found you eventually, you think. I know. You're impossible to miss. She laughs again. Takes my hand. Come on. We have a wedding to plan now. No time like the present. We've wasted enough time already. November 1st, 1 year exactly since Wren said yes. The compound is decorated. Garlands, lights, food laid out on long tables. Everyone dressed in their best, because today we celebrate. Wren appears beside me. 31 years old now. Wearing a simple blue dress. Hair loose. Glowing ready, she asks. The announcement we've been holding. She takes my hand. We walk to the center of the compound. Everyone quaits. Thank you for coming, Wren says, for celebrating with us, for being part of our story. She looks at me, smiles. 1 year ago, I made the best decision of my life. I chose to stay, to marry this stubborn, impossible, wonderful man. Laughter, warm, affectionate, and now we're starting the next chapter. In about 6 months, there's going to be a new member of our family. Silence, just for a second, then explosion. Cheers. Applause. Congratulations. Opal is crying happy tears. Bridger is grinning. Anne is already planning. I stand there, stunned. Grateful that night, after everyone has gone, we sit on our ridge. Scared? She asks, terrified. Good parents are, I think, about my father, about Sutton, about all the ways parents can fail. We'll let them be themselves, I say. Give them freedom to choose. Love them for who they are, like you did for me. She leans against me, under stars, under mountains. 3 years ago I was alone, building an empire for no one. Now I have every, not because of money, or power, or land, but because a difficult woman chose me, chose this life, chose to build something real, together. That is legacy. We sit, watching stars that have witnessed everything, the struggle, the choice, the victory, and tomorrow we wake, and keep building, keep choosing. Because that's what life is. Not perfect moments, but perfect choices, made over and over, day after day, year after year, until the mountains crumble. And even then we'll still be choosing together.